With us today, we've got Stephen Sutcliffe, Director of Finance and Accounting at the UK's National Health Service. Stephen has been in the role since 2015 and has been driving digital transformation to support better patient care through efficient financial services and effective business intelligence. And for those who don't know, the NHS is one of the world's largest employers, so this is no easy task. Stephen, can you please introduce yourself and give us some background on your experiences and your role within the NHS?
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Yes, I've been with the NHS since I graduated from university and went on to the graduate training scheme within the NHS, trained to be an accountant and was... my career aspiration was to become a director of finance, so I worked in various NHS organisations, various roles within finance. Became a director of finance within an NHS organisation, and was there for about 15 years. During that time, I had my own finance department within the organisation. I outsourced my finance service to NHS Shared Business Services. And also one of our competitors, East Lancashire Financial Services. So when this opportunity came up 5 years ago to head up the finance and accounting function of NHS Shared Business Services, I thought rather than throwing stones at my shared service provider, I would take some leadership and take some responsibility for transforming the service. So I'm responsible for finance and accounting across about 40% of the NHS. Some of our numbers, 8 million invoices a year, about £200 billion worth of NHS money around the system, recovering about £500 million of the VAT for the NHS. And we take about 500,000 phone calls every year, predominantly from suppliers asking, when am I going to get paid?
I imagine they keep you very, very busy. There's some huge numbers you mentioned there. And as you said, the NHS has been going through a major digital transformation, and automation technologies are playing a large part in this. Can you just give a bit of a further insight into the success stories you've had with these kind of technologies, and also just the major challenges so far?
Yeah, so I think just like our personal lives, technology is changing them dramatically. It's the sort of fourth industrial revolution and the next industrial revolution. And for me, some of these technologies are game changing for accountancy. I think it's probably been the same, certainly been the same since I was an accountant for 25 years. It's probably been the same since 1700 something, when bookkeeping was first introduced. And I think for me, automation in the NHS and the pandemic has seen some huge improvements. Who would have thought we'd be sat having GP consultations at home, and using video conferences and Teams and Zoom and the like, and simply within the finance function as well. The standout ones for me have been all about improving efficiency. So we've been on this journey for some time. It's not just all been about response from the pandemic. So things such as scanning and OCR and macros have been there for some time. Robotic process automation, we've been on the journey for about 4 or 5 years with robotic process automation. We've saved about 500,000 man hours on the back of our RPA implementation. I describe that as a bit like macros on steroids. Some of the vendors don't like me describing it like that, but I think it's now just what we do, and it's not a new technology for us now. An exciting thing for me is around genuine artificial intelligence and genuine machine learning and predictive analytics. I think in the reporting space, in the insight space, that's where I see the future of technology making some significant differences.
Interesting, very interesting. And you mentioned the pandemic there, but also how you've been working on some of these technologies for the last 4 or 5 years in your digital transformation. I mean, how is... So first, the pandemic's obviously had a large effect on the NHS, but do you think we're going to see increased investment in automation as a result of this crisis? Or do you think your journey was already very much planned out and we'll see just a continuation of what you're doing rather than a ramp up?
Yeah, so I think I think we'll have both. I think we will definitely continue on the automation journey. I think it will start to accelerate and focus our minds in different areas. Why do I say that? I think the resilience piece for us was really crucial, and our automation was a significant part of that resilience. We home enabled 1,500 people within 2 weeks at the beginning of the pandemic, and I haven't been into the office in over a year now as we continue to work from home, and our processing is being done at home, and that's been driven by automation. The NHS is in a different place, so we sit within the end-to-end process, and we rely on our NHS colleagues, finance colleagues, doctors, nurses, doing their bit as part of the process. And I think they're becoming more and more technology enabled. Automation is part of their job. They want the technology, they want the right technology to enable them to do the job. And the pandemic has shown the benefits of that. So I think it will be about an adoption rate accelerating on the back of a pandemic, rather than changing the journey. The journey is just going to be quicker.
Well, that makes sense. And with the conference that you're obviously speaking at in June, it's focusing on the finance function, on accounting. While automation is being used in obviously many areas of the NHS, in which area of the finance function do you see automation providing the most benefit?
Yeah, so I think it has done and still will provide benefit in automating processes, making processes more efficient, whether that be RPA, which is where we've been in the last few years. But as we move to other technologies, straight through automation, automating processes as a standard thing that just becomes more efficient, I think will be the core of any automation within finance. So actually, purchase to pay processes, an obvious area of automation. But I think where we're trying to go now, and probably driven with one of our objectives around Net Promoter Score and providing a great service to our clients, is customer experience as well. So we can be the most efficient beast going, but actually our clients might not engage in that in the right way. So if you look at service enablement tools, single sign-on, the ability to wrap various technology, and I think when I was a lad, it was just the ledger and that was it. There's now, I see technology as jigsaw pieces. So the challenge for us is how do you bring those jigsaw pieces together and provide a common experience, an easy single sign-on, an easy approach, and also in language that people understand. I want to buy something, I want to pay for something, I want to update my timesheet rather than finance language or technical language. I think the customer experience piece will be valuable. And also I think on the processing side of things, we're great on that automation, that the process mining pieces, the workflow pieces. I think they're also really important next stages of automation in finance.
That's really interesting to hear. And I think especially on the customer side of things in all areas of the business, I mean, you can never forget the customer and that experience for the overall benefits. In your presentation, you're obviously going to be exploring the impact of intelligent automation on the structure of the finance function. Could you just give a little sort of further insight or taster into what your presentation will cover, and also your plans for the NHS's finance function and how you think it might look in 5 years' time?
Yeah, so I mean, I will give some real concrete examples of some of our automation examples. Certainly, I'll give some aspects of robotic process automation. People are really interested in our journey in there and our learnings from robotic process automation. As I say, I don't think that's particularly intelligent automation. And the next stage of what I'll be setting forward is that intelligent automation. We've got some examples of that where we've got some machine learning and solutions and the like, but we'll be very much moving into that, understanding the customer space. In terms of finance in the NHS, there are about 50,000 finance professionals in the NHS, and a good majority of those do transactional work. So how do you actually make their life easier and enable them to add more and more value to why they're in the NHS, which is providing support and advice to clinicians to make the NHS the best place that it can be, and for the NHS to deliver great patient care. And the NHS finance function has got a program of hashtag One NHS Finance, and has three main themes. One is to feel like One NHS Finance. The second is to have an academy of developing the finance function to providing genuine business partnering, and genuine insight, and genuine analytics, and genuine support to the organisation. And the third stream is around innovation. So really driving improvements in innovation and helping not only innovating the finance function, but actually finance professionals driving innovation in the business because they've got that knowledge of innovation that they can bring for wider business benefits.
That's interesting to hear, and it's interesting to hear as well, as you say, how finance professionals can bring benefit back to the business as well, and everyone can be tying things together and automating these processes. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Stephen. We look forward to hearing from you, and also the likes of Siemens, Chevron, AstraZeneca and ING on the 10th and 11th of June. For sure to be 2 days of excellent presentations and really insightful discussion. So thank you, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much.